Namaste, welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity Yoga and Nancy. We're going to continue answering questions from the jar, and I'm going to attempt to answer a question that some may deem somewhat spiritual in the sense that it's all about how do we become a little bit wiser and a little bit more aware of what's important in life. And that's what I put under the umbrella of spirituality. So it's not as woo-woo as people may think. It's actually very practical and very, very necessary in today's world if we want to see some changes taking place. So I'm going to reach in and grab a question, and I'm going to go down to the bottom. Let's hope I can answer this one. And the question is, if I can make it out, okay. What is a universal law, and how does karma fit into that? What is a universal law, and how does karma fit into that? I'm just trying to get the question in my head. Sorry, I don't mean to be delaying. I know this is all meant to go right off the cuff. Give me the question. I'm to answer it in any way I can. It's going to be imperfect. And again, these are just my opinions and my way of responding to a question that's not necessarily what is real for you. And I'm going to encourage you to take the information, anything I provide, with a grain of salt and seek higher clarification for yourself. And the best way to do that is not only to listen to other people and experts who are much more expert than I am, but to yourself and to that inner wisdom inside. And yeah, I did that to delay, because this question I can't seem to get in my head. I just can't get the question in my head for some reason. What is a universal law, and how does karma fit into that? Okay. I'm going to try this. Okay. I'm going to take a deep breath. And I'm going to breathe out. It's just going to almost like I'm breathing ego right out of the way, because if ego's there trying to answer the question, I'll go on and on about what ego knows or thinks it knows, and I'll never get back to the actual answer. So I'm going to start my timer. And the question again was, what is a universal law, and how does karma fit into that? What is a universal law? So universal law and karma I'm fitting in. So universal law is those laws that govern the universe that we've known to come to see as true. They're pieces of information, and they have within them some time-space ideation, this idea of time and space, and ideation, or time-space causation, what happens in time and space. And they are ways in which we come to understand how our universe works and how we, as particles of universal material, work. And again, use the term material in the sense that we're living on this plane of existence, the physicality. How does that relate to karma? So again, karma is all about causation. Causation from action. So how does the universe work, and how does that affect our karma? How the causes, causation of what we do and why we do it, and the effects of that causation. So we know cause leads to an effect, right? The cause of something, the root of something leads to effect. So when I think of time and space as universal laws, they are not necessarily reality, but it is, again, a piece of information we use as these imperfect forms with these imperfect psyches, which are just accumulation of all our learned experiences and our conditioning, used to make sense of why we're here and what's going on around us. Time and space are probably two of those laws that we adhere to, and we think of time and space in a very linear way. We're born and we die, and our life is what happens between those moments of birth and those moments of death. And space is where we are, geographically as well as energetically on this planet. So karma is all about, and I don't ever want you to think of karma in terms of punishment. It's all about, when we think of this time and space especially, it's all about how we learn from the time we're born till the time we die. So in that moment of birth in this physical form, this carnation, I am born with a certain amount of allotted karma, according to the karma experts like Sadhguru in his wonderful book, Karma, A Yogi's Guide to Crafting Your Destiny. And we're born with this allotted amount of karma. Now, some would say, okay, it's everything that happened in previous lives, if you believe in that type of reincarnation thing that many of these traditions do believe to, and actually was a part of the Christian Bible up until the conference in the Nicene and Constantinople conferences, and I think anywhere from 50 to 150 AD. I'm not sure of the exact dates that they occurred, where that was removed from the Bible because it would cause problems with the church's ability to control in the political and social level it was controlling at the time. Let's get off of that. So we got a lot of karma. So reincarnation, if you believe in reincarnation, is karma that we've taken from past lives. If we haven't evolved, like we're all here, the soul is here to evolve. The soul, the essence, the consciousness is here to evolve and expand, to allow that consciousness to experience life, that one consciousness that is in everything, that is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, to expand and grow. So if I didn't learn what I needed to learn for that to happen in a previous life, I will carry it with me, according to some traditions, into this lifetime. So in that moment of my birth, I have this certain amount of allotted karma. We could also think of that allotted karma as what we've obtained from our ancestors, genetic memory, what Carl Jung would have called the collective unconscious, what we've established and stored from what our ancestors went through as they were learning how to survive, expand, and evolve, and what we've collected into our DNA that makes us who we are, what we've inherited. And that could be a part of that allotted karma as well. So if my ancestors, for example, were involved in, genocide, and that is a part of my karma, I may have to burn that off some way and learn from it and grow and evolve as a soul from it in this lifetime. So even if I don't believe in reincarnation, I can believe in that collective unconscious that we get from our ancestors. So regardless, we have this allotted karma. We have this allotted amount of learning potential, is what a good way of looking at karma. This opportunity to learn and grow that karma offers us when we are born. And we have, from this temporal existence, this very finite lifespan, from the dash between the date of birth and the date of death, to learn what we're here to learn, and to get here to the death, and knowing that we've evolved enough so that we don't have to go on to another life if we want to end the wheel of samsara, or according to some like Buddhist traditions or Hindu traditions, or if we just want to say that we've learned and grown all we can and live the best life we could while here at this moment of death. We get there, we want to know that we've done that. So all that in between is just learning potential. It's just growth potential. There is no way to get it wrong. It's all about just learning and growing. Yes, we're going to make our mistakes. We're going to get caught up in these little me's and their psyches and all that conditioning and all that wounding, and whether it be from a previous life or this life or previous generation, or if it's actually in us. We're just got all this learning to do. How are we going to get past that? How are we going to get past this psyche and this very limited understanding we have of things, and this narrow focus we have as we place it on self and psyche and little me's drama and what's happening to me, and how come I can't get what I want from life, and why is life doing that to me, and why do I feel uncomfortable inside? What do I need out there what do I need to manipulate or fix or grab out there so that I feel okay inside? What do I need to push away, which would be equivalent to repressing and suppressing so I don't have to experience discomfort, etc., etc. All this drama occurring from the moment of birth to the moment of death. And that is looking at this universal law of time and space, right? Because we're traveling along here. And our space is where we are geographically here, the circumstances I was born into, where am I geographically on the map? Am I in a war zone? Am I born into a war zone? Am I born into a colder climate where things will be different than a warmer climate? Am I born into poverty and scarcity, or am I born into abundance and opportunity? It's all part of karma. It's all part of karma. These universal laws can help us grow and learn if we think in times of time-space continuum. But we have to realize this from here to here is just a mental construct we as humans have created. In the bigger scope of things, it's like a little tiny speck. My lifespan from here to here is a tiny, insignificant speck in the universe, or this planet even, that's been here for billions of years, with 7.5 billion people in it. I'm just one of many tiny little specks on this piece of dust that's rotating around the sun. It takes a year to rotate around the sun, and it's only going to rotate around the sun for me so many years, right? So right now it's been 60 years that I've been doing this, and what have I learned, and how much have I grown in that 60 years using those time-space universal laws? So in relation to karma, our universal laws, which are often man-made and human concepts, can help us to understand that we are here for a finite time. Even though who we really are at the deepest level, when we get beyond our focus and our distraction of looking at this little me travel on this time-space continuum and realize, I'm so much more than this. This time-space continuum is just a tiny little blurb in my level of existence, in my level of being. Then we will better be able to get behind it. But we first have to recognize that we're staring at this. This is very real to the psyche. This is very real to this body. But to who we really are, that's inside this body and the psyche, or using the psyche and this body as it travels along this continuum, embracing this universal law. As long as we're doing that, that law can benefit us. But we eventually want to get beyond it to see that we are not confined to any laws. We are not confined to time and space. We are not confined to this idea of past and future, of birth and death, that is just a concept, a mental concept. And that our physicality, though very temporal, and these bodies will die and they will, be gone, but who we really are inside them continues to grow. And so when we look at karma in terms of learning potential rather than a punishment for what we've done wrong in a previous life, we're going to recognize the beauty of using the universal laws to help us embrace our karma, to help us live to our full potentials by learning, and just continue to learn. When we do something that hurts another person, we learn from it, we grow from it. We allow that learning to take place. And that's what I think this questioner was looking for in this answer. I hope so anyway. If not, we'll try her again later. How's that? Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.